Hey everyone, welcome back. Let's get right into it today. We're going to take a look at the interior on Utopia of the Seas. And as you can see here, we're starting out on deck 5. When it comes to the inside of the ship, deck 5 is probably the one you're really going to get to know the best. This is the Royal Promenade. It's pretty much a standard on any Royal Caribbean ship. Obviously, the Oasis class, the Icon class being the biggest in the fleet. It's bigger and has more to offer. Those stairs. So we're in the front of the ship now. Those stairs will take you down to deck 4 to Entertainment Place. We'll be down there in just a minute. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a walk up and down the promenade here to check it all out. And this is Boleros right here. This is the Latin theme bar and dance club on the ship. It's kind of quiet right now. This actually at times is a nice place if you want to come in and grab a drink quick. If there's not any kind of music playing in here, a lot of times they do have the bar open and there's just going to be a couple people here. So if you want to get something quick and keep doing what you're doing, it's a good spot to do that. You can see all these stands they have set up in the middle. These are for some of the various sales that they have during the cruise. And Solara, that is for any makeup or perfume you want to buy on the ship. Again, this is all duty free. And as we continue down, you'll see we're coming up to Sorrento's here. This is kind of the grab and go area for pizza by the slice. And they do have a couple of the Coke Freestyle machines. Those usually get pretty busy too. Sorrento's is, even when there's a line, it moves fairly quickly. But I can tell you this, if you're in port for the day and it's about 4 or 5 o'clock and we're getting ready to set sail, that's probably when you're going to see the biggest line right here. People are stopping off to grab a quick slice before maybe they go upstairs and get ready for dinner or to do something like that. Perfect photo op right here with Utopia and the signature card that they have on board. It's right next to the next cruise area. So this is if you want to book your next cruise. And just know that this is not just for Royal Caribbean. You could book a cruise on Celebrity right there as well. And this is Effie. So this is some of the jewelry that's offered on board. I believe we are in port right now, so that's why none of these are open. And then as we look around here, that is the Rising Tide Bar. It is up on deck 8. Right now, the little panel right here will tell you the next time it is going up or down, and which is kind of nice. That's a fun little feature on the ship. Definitely something unique to this class of ship. Pesky Parrot, this is something fairly new to the fleet. I know they have it on this one. I believe they're going to have it on Star of the Seas, if I remember correctly. That is a mechanical parrot right there. The behind the slats here, the island that you see, that's actually like a TV screen. So as it gets to nighttime, that will turn into kind of more of a nighttime scene. They have a lot of the slushy machines where you can get the margaritas or pina coladas, something like that right there. Got the chairs here if you just want to sit and people watch a bit. And then they carry this theme out here as well. And the stairs right here do head up to deck 6. We'll be up there in just a minute. And now what we're going to do is we're going to head into the dining room to check it out. Each day they do have these boards out here. So if you want to see what they have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the dining room, you can always check those out. And it's quite fancy. They kind of have all these like crystal things all along the walls, which makes it kind of cool. And so we're on deck 5 right now. This is going to be the top deck of the dining room, and some of these little counter here, that's where you would check in when you come, especially for your first night when you haven't been assigned a table yet. But you can see that we're on the top deck of the dining room. So this is deck 5. You have decks 4 and 3 down below. We'll take a peek down there. Now, if you do come for breakfast, even if you normally sit on deck 4 or 5, pass those by, go right down to deck 3. Typically, you're going to get a much smaller crowd in here for breakfast, so they typically only open deck 3 for that. And as we head out, you can see some of the decorations they have here. So again, we're still on the promenade deck here, and the dining room is in the back. So we're heading now towards the front of the ship, and you can see we're going to pass right by the elevators here, back into the Royal Promenade. And so the pesky parrot would be to our right. And then right over here on our left is Regalia. So this is the fine jewelry and watches that they offer on board. Good deals on those because, again, they are duty free. And right next to that is guest services. I would say typically the first day and the last day, that's the busiest there. Again, looking up at the rising tide bar. And then after guest services, here is the Cafe Promenade. It is not the Starbucks on board. They do have one. We'll see it in just a second. But you can get all the specialty coffees that you want right there, as well as a few kind of snack and grab and go items. Accessory place. This is more the finer handbags that they offer on the ship. And here's one of the Royal Caribbean standards, the English pub that they have on board. We'll take a quick peek in there. And they do have live music at night. Usually something on the simpler side, but it is pretty nice. And again, a lot of these places, they have where the seating kind of overflows into the promenade. One of the art structures they have on the ship, which is kind of cool. And these stands, they'll have different sales during the week for here. This is the port merchants. So this is any kind of duty-free alcohol that you want to buy. If you do buy that anytime other than the last night on the ship, they will hold it for you and deliver it to your room on the last night. And here is the shop. This is for all the Royal Caribbean and Utopia of the Seas logo merchandise you want to get. And then as we come up here to Spotlight Karaoke, this is another place that gets going at night, definitely a little bit quieter during the day. Although I think when I walked by one time, they were doing some type of game. If they were doing trivia or something like that, they try to get kind of multi-use out of some of these spaces. And they do actually have a couple private karaokes that you can go into. I don't know if there's a charge for that or not. If anybody does, comment down below. I'd be interested to see. So now we're more in the front of the ship. And so, yeah, this is the Royal Theater. We'll get a good look in that in just a second. These stairs here, like I said, they do take you up to deck 6. What we're going to do really quick, because we kind of passed by it before, these 2 desks that they have right here, this one is for port shopping. So if you have any questions at all, they can answer for you there. And then the other one, this definitely gets busy on day 1 on the ship, is the VOOM help desk. Those typically have someone there, but also someone kind of wandering around a little bit offering help with that. Deck 4. So this is going to be that entertainment place. And so this is also the mid deck of the dining room. And then they have on this one, this is something fairly new. It's Utopia Station. They call it an immersive dining experience. And you board a railroad car and you get served dinner, but it's kind of one of those live theater performances with people running around and all that. So, and this board alone is kind of cool to stand here and watch it change as they can change the message on it and all that. The one thing I will say with the rail car experience, you cannot get in there and see it unless you have a reservation for dinner. And that would be one that if you really want to go, it's not cheap, but if you really want to do it, book it as soon as you book your cruise. One of the things I've heard is how quickly that fills up. I went on to check the pricing of it. It wasn't even an option any longer when I went to just pretend to book it to see what the price was going to be. And here's a good look at the dining room. And we'll turn and head back out here. Now, one of the things I couldn't do was take a look at the casino because it was in action at the time. So we kind of skipped past that. And they do have a smoking and a non-smoking casino on board if that's one or the other is your thing. This is some of the art that is available on the ship. And you can see they have a lot of that on display here. So this is as you exit the casino, you can come down this hallway. Now, this is what's going to take us to that entertainment place where they have some of the kind of nightclub or comedy club type areas. And as we come through here, so Studio B is right here. That's the ice rink on board. I definitely recommend checking out the show if you can. They have some of the art on display. This is the attic, one of the nightclubs on board. And then I believe the comedy club is right there. And these stairs here are what will take you back up to the promenade. And then straight ahead here this is the non-smoking casino. It's definitely smaller than the other one. That alone can get fairly crowded. And the main theater is on deck 4 and 5. I believe as I was filming this, this was on deck 5. I'm in the balcony looking down below. Definitely some cool shows. You want to check those out. And they'll be almost 2 every night. And so if you want to try to coordinate it with your dinner, you can let your waiter or waitress know if you're in kind of a hurry to get through dinner to get to the show so you don't miss anything there. And after this, we're going to just deck 3. There's really not much to report here, except this is where they have the conference rooms available if you're, I guess, lucky enough to do some type of business trip on this. And now we're going to jump up to deck 6. Now, some of these areas, I want to point these out because these are really nice. These are overlook areas that look down onto the promenade. And if you want to kind of people watch, if you're waiting to meet someone, to go somewhere, these are a great spot to go to. And it just gives you a really good vantage point. Also shows you the perspective of how big this promenade is on the ship. And they do have one on each side. So now we've jumped over to the other side. And you can see there's the Starbucks down below. We were in Boleros and Spotlight Karaoke just a little bit ago. There are skylights above, and those are, you can look down from the Central Park down a little bit into the promenade, but they give some natural light to there, which is nice. Now, this is towards the back of the ship. So you have focus here. This is where you would see any of the pictures that they've taken of you on the ship. And there's no print, nothing's printed. You just simply swipe your CPass card and then your pictures would come up. And if you want to purchase them, they'll give you different options that you can to pay to get the pictures. And across the way is a schooner bar. We'll be there in just a minute. But it's another good look down at the promenade. This one, actually, compared to some of the other Oasis class, this extends a little bit further. It doesn't go all the way around deck 6, but they get it pretty good. Oh, and one other thing, the accessories place, there is a stage above that. When they have the live band playing, that's where they perform. And here's a look back. And now we're going into the schooner bar. Again, this is a Royal Caribbean standard. One of the things that I kind of found interesting with this is it's right off the promenade. I mean, just one deck up. And the promenade can be really busy, like especially if, you know, one of the dinners just got out and there's activities going on in the promenade. There can be a lot of people down there, and you just come up here and it might be a little bit crowded, but it seems so much more mellow, where you're just that little gap away from the crowd down below. It's really nice. There's a good shot of the stage above accessory place there. And a look across at Focus where we just were. And now we're going to head up to, this is deck 8. So this is the bottom deck, I'd say. Yeah, I mean, it's a 2-deck music hall. So it's deck 8 and 9, and you can see there's plenty of seating right here. And all the windows here, they look out into the boardwalk. And this was the day we got on the ship. And so there was not really much going on, but it made it kind of perfect where we could kind of wander around the ship and check all this stuff out. And I think it's great the way they have that stage with the boardwalk in the background. And at night, when the boardwalk is all lit up, that'll be the backdrop for any of the musicians here. And the stairs will take you up to deck 9. As we are here, you can see the chandelier they have. And we'll head on up. Now, one of the nice things is, if you like the music but want to be a little bit removed, they do have some of these chairs here right along, kind of like the bar here. But it's a good view down onto the stage. And plenty of seating here. So there is a bar on deck 8 and on deck 9. And as we wrap up there, we're going to head up to deck 15. And really the only thing I want to show you here is the Mason Jar restaurant. This is one of the ones that's talked about quite a bit. They only have it on a couple of the ships, but it's really getting good reviews. They really have a nice setup here for it with all the windows along the side of the ship. It brings in a lot of natural light. And this was, I believe this might have been the day that we got on the ship. And so, not very crowded, but it was all set up for dinner that evening. And it was just nice to come in here and take a look around. The only specialty dining that we did on the ship was Giovanni's, and that was for lunch the day we boarded, which really worked out nice. So now we are on deck 16, and this is basically the kind of the kids area on the ship. Plus, it also has the escape room. And I would say if you have kids or if you have them, but you left them at home, I would recommend coming down here and checking this out. A lot of this is open, again, the day that you get on board as people kind of are exploring the ship. And it's kind of nice to see what they have for the kids, so the parents can have a little time to themselves and the kids can play and learn and all that fun stuff. And they're all broken up by age groups and everything, but you can see they definitely keep them active. They'll wear them out for you. One more here. And then last thing we're going to do on deck 16 here is take a look at the arcade, which is nice. So I'm going to post a link to the boardwalk video I already have out there. And there is a section on the boardwalk where they have skee ball and some of the basketball hoops and all. So between the two, I think you can keep the kids happy and keep them active. Now, I want to show you this. This is deck 16 heading up to 17. This is where kind of the higher end suites are. And this right now, I believe we are on deck 18. And you are allowed to come up here. You can't get into these rooms, but this is okay. So we're on 17 and we'll be up on 18 in just a second. But this is where they have a lot of the crown loft rooms. So those are the higher end suites. And you can even take a peek out the triangle window to see what's going on the pools. So now we are on deck 18 and they have the two high-end suites that they have on board, the Royal Loft Suite and the Family Suite that they have. These are the highest end rooms that are available on the ship. So you can just at least see the entryway to each if you can't see anything else. I hope you enjoyed the video and remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for checking out my video, and remember, if you're looking for a cruise, contact me and I'll find the perfect cruise vacation for you.